Hey there guys, WWII here with a new video on the most iconic weapon used in the later part of the war, the StG44 or the Sturmgewehr. So in this video we're going to be looking at my StG44 or MP44 and this is the WWII MP44 replica. This replica here is the dummy round version, which means it can simulate chambering and loading a round, but it cannot actually fire. So this is, a step down from a DIAC. In my opinion, this is probably the best replica on the market. It works exactly the same as a real one would. It's a 1-to-1 scale ratio. The weight is exactly the same, loaded and unloaded, and it is just spot on with the minor details, such as maker's marks, stamping, Waffenemps. The very minor details are there. So before we get into this weapon and strip it down and show you the internals, I just want to go through a small section of the history behind this weapon and go through maybe some of the prototypes. So basically there were two major weapons manufacturers. So you had Hanel and Walther that were in competition to design a weapon, an assault rifle, or a rifle that was better than the current standard issue rifles, so better than the K98, also better than the G43. They wanted, they were in a competition to design something better, but they were following demands that they had to stick to. They had to get correct on this weapon, and the demands were: the weight had to be similar or less than the standard K98. The length had to be shorter than the standard K98. Precision similar to the rifle, up to 600 meters, and a single shot precision up to 400 meters. It was first thought about that it didn't have to be fully automatic, but it would be preferred to be fully automatic, and the firing rate must be in between 360 and 450 rounds per minute, and also the possibility to use existing rifle grenade launchers. It also had to, because there had been harsh winters that the German army had already fought in, it had to be reliable under extreme cold and also dusty conditions. It had to be of a simple, easy construction and protection against dust and dirt. The Hanel model, the MKB-42H, was ready in January of 1942. And the Walther model, so the MKB-42W, was ready a month later. So both the MKBs were ready and shown to Hitler on April the 14th, 1942. But he was really not impressed with them. He didn't really like them. He disapproved of further development on the weapon. But despite of Hitler's disapproval and dislike to the weapon, it was sent off to the infantry school in Dobritz for evaluation. The infantry school favoured the Hanel design and was very enthusiastic, but had some improvement suggestions. This also meant that Walther were out of the competition. They didn't make the cut. Even after the evaluation at the infantry school and the rigorous testing that had gone through, Hitler still refused to see the advantages of the machine carbine. He still refused to see the potential in the MKB. His idea was that the infantry needed a self-loading rifle which fired the standard, 7.92 cartridge. It needed that stability and continuation of ammunition. Even though Hitler had disapproved of, the production and the testing of the MKB-42H, it still carried on. The development of the new weapon continued, fired from a closed bolt. So that means instead of firing from an open bolt like the MP40 does, this means that the round is, like on most modern day, assault rifles. The round is loaded in and the bolt closes up behind it. And then it is fired and then the bolt ejects the brass, the cartridge afterwards. On February the 6th, 1943, the improved MKB-42H was demonstrated to Hitler again. The weapon had now been changed from MKB to now be called the MP43, so the Machine Pistol 43. They don't know why. My research has shown that most of them, most people, historians, don't understand why they actually changed the name. It's quite a myth that it was because Hitler didn't like the weapon, so they had to try and disguise it. It's unsure. Nobody really knows. Just to add, notice of the differences between, the open bolt MKB-42 was now called the MP43A, whilst the closed bolt version was called the MP43B, and that was later then renamed to the MP43-1. Again, Hitler declined the weapon in favour of the Gewehr 43. He just really didn't think that this would be a good weapon to be, using. He still liked the idea of a rifle instead of, he didn't like it. He just didn't like the idea of this weapon. He ordered the MKB that all production must stop and all work had to be halted. Even though Hitler had demanded that all, manufacturing and projects for this weapon to be halted, they still continued to carry on. They sent over 2,000 MKB, or the MP43A, to be sent to Heeresgruppe Nord for trial purposes. The reason why they actually ordered the open bolt variant, so the MKB-42 to the MP43A, is not really understood why they chose to order those ones over the MP43B. But on April the 10th, 1943, the Army High Command informed Heeresgruppe Nord that 2,000 MKBs had been sent. Later on, they reported back from the front. It was a very, very positive report. And based on this, the head of Ministry for Weapons and Ammunition tried and eventually persuaded the Führer, Hitler, to give this weapon time for production. Finally, he was successful and he changed Hitler's mind, and the production of 30,000 MP43s per month was established. In April 1944, the MP43 was renamed to the MP44. There is no other significant changes to the weapon apart from small, minute, detailed parts. Apparently, for propaganda reasons, the final name change came in December of 1944, and the MP44 was renamed Sturmgewehr 44, or the StG44. Now, that was just a brief history behind this weapon and how it eventually came to be. I'm going to do this video in 2 parts, so this is part 1 of the StG44. In the next part we'll be going over the field stripping for this weapon, sort of how you would strip it down for daily cleaning. Just remember, if you like this video, please remember to comment, like and subscribe. Every subscription and every like is a big help towards the channel. The feedback in the comments so far has been amazing, and I'm very grateful for your support. As you also know, and you may see, I've hit over 200 subscribers recently, and I'm very grateful for all of you guys actually subscribing and liking my content. So yeah, thank you very much guys, and I will see you in the next video.